So glad somebody just mentioned recording. I am super excited tonight, so excited that I get to introduce Dr. Nalani Valentine, because this subject, unfortunately, is close to my heart, and I have to think that it's close to so many people's, because she's going to be talking about strengthening your defense system, and we're going to be kind of focusing on cancer, which has taken both of my parents, my mom 9 years ago and my dad just this past March. So I want the knowledge from Dr. Nalani to come to be like almost the whole half an hour. So I'm only going to just give you a snippet of her bio. Dr. Nalani is PhD certified health consultant, award-winning author, professor, nutritionist. She's the founder of New York's Heal by Touch Oasis, co-director of the University of, I don't even know how to say this, Commission Sciences, as well as the Whole Wellness Self-Healing Education Center, now headquartered in Central Florida. The part that I want to read that I love out of the whole bio that she's got is, she educates and empowers families, and especially boomers, that's what my son calls me all the time, a boomer, to regain strength and vitality and stay healthy longer with a better quality of life. Her clients learn to take their health into their own hands as they realize they are not helpless victims of disease. So I am so excited to listen. All right, Dr. Nalani, you're on.
Okay, well, thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you, Karen, for inviting me. And thank you all for being here for this, just for this time that we have together. This is not a presentation. This is a conversation. We get to have conversations more. And I'm just so grateful. And later on, I'm going to introduce you to quite a remarkable lady. I am just really impressed with this lady that I'm going to introduce you to. So let's get into this. First of all, let's make this clear. We're not talking about cures. First of all, as a naturopathic doctor, I don't subscribe to cure. I know there's no such thing as a cure. There is such a thing as healing. The body was created to heal itself. When we do several things, actually just two, we remove obstacles to healing, and sometimes those obstacles, well, all of the time, those obstacles have to do with the emotional body. And then we give the body what it's starving for. So what does that mean? Because a lot of us eat well, we do our best, correct? You know, we do our best. I know for me, in my situation, I'm going to share my story, and that is, and this is the longer version, but I do this for a reason. I've been studying nutrition since 1968. I thought I was healthy. I'm telling other people how to eat. And yet in 1996, I was diagnosed with breast cancer. And I was told by more than one doctor that my only option was surgery. Thankfully, I was introduced to Dr. Valentine, naturopathic doctor, and he taught me to heal myself just using two things: proper thinking, proper nutrition. That made me go back to school because I thought I was healthy. So I went back to school and I learned so much more about the connection between nutrition and disease that it's not even funny. I mean, there are simple solutions, and that's the good news. Sadly, we get to talk about some things that are not so good first. However, we've got solutions, and that's the good news. So after healing myself of cancer, I cut all animal products out of my diet. Not that everybody has to do that. That was my healing process. And I just did not go back until very recently. I started adding a little salmon in my salmon, however you pronounce it, in my diet. However, I really thought I was healthy then. And I'm sharing it this way because there are many in our community who are, vegan, vegetarian. Oh, I'm raw foodist. I don't need more nutrition. I'm getting all that I need. Believe me when I say nobody is getting what they think they're getting from the foods that they're eating. And we're going to talk a little bit about that later. So with all of that I was doing, eating raw, 80%, 85% raw, and completely vegan, I still have so much inflammation in my body that I lost range of motion through arthritis in one of my hands. I mean, it was really bad. You should be able to touch the palm of your hand with your fingers, not like this, but pulling them back. I was not able to do that. This is as far as that finger would go. That's when I was introduced to Juice Plus. Now, let me tell you, I was juicing every day, juicing every single day, eating totally organic, and all those other things that I mentioned. How did I still have that arthritis? How did I still, and I'm not saying I'm cured. What I'm saying is that now I'm flooding my body with nutrition at the cellular level that's feeding me in a way that I couldn't do before, even with all that juicing. So I was introduced to these whole food concentrates. And did it happen overnight? No. Did it cure me? No. It's just food. But it did do what I thought the juicing was going to do. And that is, it fed me at the cellular level so that the body can do its own thing. And that's what I wanted to share with you. Okay, so we're going to talk a little bit, since she mentioned cancer, we're going to talk just a little bit, but I want to make it clear, I'm not making any claims. And I love the integrity of this company. The company does not make claims, but it has a lot of proof of its efficacy. That's the truth. It doesn't heal you, you heal yourself. The body was created to heal itself when you give it what it needs and you remove the obstacles to healing. So let's talk about, we're going to talk a little bit about free radical damage. We're going to talk about oxidative stress. You've heard these words come back and forth. So I'm going to share my screen just briefly. And we'll talk about that. Let me put my glasses on and stop pretending I can see. Okay. Like I said, this is a conversation, not a presentation. All righty. So let's look at that. Let's look at this. Okay, so now we're looking at this angry free radical. Okay, so what is that? What is this? What are we looking at? On the right here, well, let me just let you know that electrons should be paired, okay? And when they are not paired, then we've got what we call a free radical. And what happens is that it steals one from another one, and it starts a chain reaction. But when you have more fruits and vegetables, and this didn't all go like I planned it to go, but when you have fruits and vegetables, fruits and vegetables are loaded with these electrons, with these phytonutrients, with these carotenoids. And guess what? That is the only protection we have against free radical damage. The colors, the carotenoids from fruits and vegetables. Isn't that awesome? We were created for that. So where does this come from though? And what is oxidative stress? And there are several ways to explain it. This is just one way I like to explain it. We want energy, correct? We want to have, for instance, it's cold outside, you want a nice warm fire, and you're going to burn the wood and get the fire, and you're going to get the heat. However, a side effect of that is going to be smoke, and it's going to be sparks, and they're going to be ashes. Now, if you don't have something to protect your carpet or your floors, you're going to burn holes in that carpet or that wood floor, okay? That's similar, very similar to what happens when you have a lot of oxidative stress. Now, what causes oxidative stress? Getting angry, believe it or not, being out in the sun, exercising, and we know how important exercise is, correct? Still, all of those things will cause oxidative stress. Now, oxidative stress is also just a byproduct of metabolism when you eat your food and you're digesting food. So it's natural. And the body was created to handle that, but it was not created to handle the stress that we are under today. And that's a biggie. It's not created to handle the PCBs and the sprays, okay, and all the toxins that are in the body as a result of the environment. So we've got a lot more oxidative stress today than we had years ago. So what I forgot to tell you, well, I'll save that until later. I didn't tell you the last part of my story. Alrighty, in each human cell, the DNA is hit. Now, how many cells do you have? Billions. 10,000 times each one of those cells is hit by mutagenic oxidants, the free radicals that we talked about before. Okay, so that's kind of scary. So not having enough fruits and vegetables is like standing in front of an X-ray machine every single day. Let that one sink in. Not enough fruits and veggies, you're not getting enough protection. And if you think you're getting it from the foods you're eating, you got to be eating from a trough because you'll need a lot more. It is recommended that we eat 7 to 13 servings, and really 7 for children, 9 to 13 for adults. And if you hold up your fist, that's the size of a serving. I know I don't eat 10 of those a day. Do you? What about your children? Are they getting 5 to 7 servings a day? That's why we need more. So here's another way of looking at oxidative stress. It's like rusting internally. Oxidative stress is linked to poor health, obviously. And now we know why. We know what oxidative stress is and what it can do to the body. Okay, can we go to the next one? My screen is locking. So that is part of my story. That is why the news isn't that fruits and vegetables are good for you. It's that they're so good for you, they could save your life. Does that statement sound hyperbolic? Does it sound like, it's hype? No. After knowing what you just saw, that is why fruits and vegetables can save your life. And with that, I'm going to just share with you a lovely lady that I just recently met. Her name is Patty, and Patty is going to share her own personal story. Let me stop sharing my screen so I can see her. Now, while she is unmuting herself, let me just share this one thing. I am really blown away by this lady. By the fact that she is willing to come and share her amazing story. Thank you, Patty.
Nalani, thank you. And thank you to Karen also. I appreciate the invite. I'm humbled to be here with you all and to just share a little bit about my story and what's happened to me and how I'm able to overcome some things. 21 years ago, I was diagnosed with ovarian cancer, early stage. I went through surgery and chemotherapy, and even a couple of years later, I was only 41 or 2 at the time, and I just could not seem to get my act together. I felt tired all the time, and I had no energy. And I'm a golf professional, an LPGA member, and I was at an LPGA event, and a colleague of mine came up to me and said, "You need to take Juice Plus. You look like you don't have the energy to even play golf." I said, "I don't." And she said, "You need Juice Plus." I'm like, "What is Juice Plus?" And she said something about a capsule. And I said, "Well, I can't take capsules. Vitamins make me sick to my stomach. Forget about it." And she says, "It's not a vitamin. It's fruits and vegetables in a capsule." And I said, "Well, okay, this is a deal. I'll try them. If I get sick on them, you get them back." And she said, "That's a deal." And that was 16 years ago. It really did save my life back then, because even at early 40s, I didn't feel like I could really play golf like I used to play or teach like I used to teach. And it was really debilitating, the effects of the chemo, after effects, even that many years later. And so with Juice Plus, I learned how to eat properly. I learned how to be a health coach. I became certified as a health coach. I started eating better. Our family started eating better. We started eating more fruits and vegetables on our plate versus a lot of animal products. And we did try to go vegan for a little while. It didn't really work for our family, but even still today, our portions are more than half fruits and vegetables on our plates and little meats, you know, and try to do our meatless Mondays and various things like that. But moving forward ahead, about 2 years ago, my husband and I at the golf club that we were both at, and we owned our own golf shop and all. It was a very stressful time. We were about ready to retire, and everything seemed to be going haywire. I wasn't sleeping. I was stressed out about trying to close up the business, and I wasn't eating right. I wasn't taking care of myself. And lo and behold, I found a lump in my right abdomen. And I was like, oh my gosh, what in the world could this possibly be? And it ended up becoming a tumor that was in my right ureter, which is the tube that goes from the bladder, or to the kidney to the bladder. And I thought, well, you know, okay, I'll eat more vegan and I'll try to do this holistically. And the stress never really went away. And there's one thing that I wanted to just share a little bit about. I had a friend who said to me, oh, you're taking Juice Plus. How did you get cancer? I thought Juice Plus cured all of that stuff. And I was so hurt by that, because I was thinking, well, maybe it was. And then I realized, I just snap out of it, Patty, because this is not what's true. What's true is that like Nalani said, nutrition is so part of this. And then you also, Nalani, mentioned that our emotions and the things that happen inside of our brain and our mind and our heart and our soul have so much to do with our health that we don't realize it. So it's not only nutrition level, because that is huge, it's a huge part of it, but how much sleep we're getting and how much stress level we can keep away from ourselves, and truly our spiritual life. And not only that, forgiving people. You know, sometimes if you have this anger or hurt in your heart and you're not forgiving people, oh my gosh, you can't believe how that can cause disease. And so there's an exercise. And I know that, Nalani, you talk about the pillars of health. And these are things that it's not just one. You have to kind of do all of them if you want to keep a healthy body. And so I learned that, and the trying to do this myself didn't work. I finally went to an oncologist, and thank the Lord, I found a great oncologist at Lynn Cancer Institute in Boca Raton, Florida, who believes that not only is what he calls alternative, or excuse me, he calls it complementary, other types of therapies, whether that's supplemental or acupuncture or tapping or various other things like that. He believes that West can meet East and vice versa. And as long as it's healthy for the body and it's not doing anything detrimental, he's all for it. And I've heard that oncologists will say, you can't take this supplement, you can't take Juice Plus or whatever. And if you are dealing with cancer right now and you have an oncologist who says you can't take Juice Plus, you please show them what's in it. Because if you can eat a salad or you can eat fruit, there's no reason in the whole wide world that you cannot take Juice Plus. And my oncologist is all for it. And every time that I went, even though I was failing, my body was failing, it really was. But my blood tests were amazing. And every time I go to the doctor, he'd say, your blood tests are amazing, but you know, you've lost so much weight. We've got to do something. But at least my blood test was great. So honestly, through this whole process, Juice Plus has really helped my body. Now I've gotten on a new drug in the last 90 days, and it's not exactly chemo. It's a brand new drug that was approved by the FDA in December 2019. And it does have a chemo component, because you can see I've lost quite a bit of hair. But otherwise, I've gone from like a month and a half ago, I was like 95 pounds, 94 pounds, and I'm up to 107.5 pounds. Everything is completely turned around. And I really believe that Juice Plus my emotional life, and I've forgiven everybody in my life, and I'm exercising again. And I just think that all of that put together really can change your life. And I pray, and I think that anything you can do for your health that's going to work yourself in the right direction and move steps towards good health, whether you are dealing with cancer or not. And that's one other thing I wanted to say. Don't ever say you have cancer. Say you're dealing with cancer, because that's what you're doing. It doesn't have, you don't own it, and it doesn't own you. You're dealing with it, and you are going to beat it, that's for sure. So do what you can. I do recommend Juice Plus highly because it is, I believe, the #1 thing that has kept me going through this whole process. And by the grace of God, I'll get my hair back and be cancer free, which my last scan actually showed that the tumors have significantly decreased and I have very little cancer left in my body. Still have to do some more treatments so that we can completely eradicate those tumors so that they don't regenerate themselves. But you know, I'm going to get this on the other end and you're going to see me again with hair. And I appreciate the time, Karen and Nalani. And I just, I wish all of you well and get on Juice Plus because whoever invited you to this, talk to them and say, I need to get on Juice Plus because it'll be your #1 defense against chemo, against radiation, against immunotherapies, whatever it is. Or if you have not gotten sick yet, it'll help you stay as healthy as you possibly can be. So God bless and thank you all.
Thank you so much, Patty. You just bring me to tears, really. I'm excited for you. I am so grateful that you're sharing this. So I'm going to go on and hopefully we won't go too much over time. We usually are at 30 minutes, but I did have a couple of things that I wanted to share. Okay, so it's not allowing me to share my screen anymore. Can you see my screen? Yes, okay. All righty, so fruits and vegetables. So the question is, then how are you taking care of you? This is for everybody. This is an important message, and we're hoping that you'll share this message with your families. How are you taking care of you? We've talked about the emotional and the spiritual, and that's why I talk about the 5 pillars of health. Because if you are doing all of these, that doesn't mean you'll never get sick. It doesn't mean you won't have a serious condition. It does mean, though, you'll give yourself a better chance, a fighting chance, because you do have a defense system. And so the emotional and spiritual, I put as #1. So I say 5 pillars of health because the emotional to me is everything. And your cells are listening, okay? And then we have the exercise, extremely important. Hydration, how much water are you drinking? First of all, exercise. As we get older, we should continue to move because things, not only do things stiffen up, but everything gets soft, I promise you. Now, I forgot to tell you the end part of my story, and that is partly too, that I didn't share, that I used to get these nagging backaches. And around 4 o'clock in the afternoon, I'd feel like I needed to take a nap, like I wanted to take a nap. And after incorporating Juice Plus, it did not happen overnight. Over time, though, I completely regained range of motion in both of my hands. And well, this one was fine, but in my left hand, I regained range of motion. And I regained more energy. Next month, in November, I'll be 72. And I have the energy and the vitality I had when I was in my 30s. No joke. I take these 2-hour nonstop Zumba classes that have people a third my age falling out. And I know that is because I added Juice Plus to an already very healthy lifestyle. Exercising daily, drinking plenty of water so that your urine is clear. That's important. Getting good sleep, 7 to 9 hours. More than 9 is not as good, not so good either. I mean, it's just like less than 5, you know? So, and then of course we talked about nutrition, and then you can take healthy back. So what exactly is Juice Plus? It is fruits and vegetables and berries, and then we have omegas. The whole food is harvested at the peak of ripeness. Remember we talked about the fact that you could lose 80% of the nutritional content just because it didn't ripen on the vine? I usually go into an explanation as to why that happens, but I don't want to take too much time. But just know this, about 2 or 3 days before it's ready to fall off the vine is when you get that uptake of all this great nutrition. And when are our fruits and vegetables fit? When they're hard and green, so they can be transported without spoilage. Well, this company has got it right. Whole foods, harvested at the peak of ripeness. And it's pulverized, not juice. So remember I was saying that I was doing all this juicing every day? Well, first of all, we are creatures of habit, right? And when I was in New York, you know, you can walk down the street and go to a juice bar, and what would I get? Carrot, parsley, kale. Carrot, parsley, kale. Carrot, parsley, kale. Is that the full spectrum of the rainbow? No, but that's what I wanted. That's what I got. And now I realized after the fact that I wasn't getting the nutrition that should have been in there in the beginning. So there you go. Now, not only is it not juiced, but it is pulverized. What does that mean? They put everything in there. The skin, yeah, the peel. 80% of vitamin C in an orange is in the peel. Do you eat the orange peel? I know I do. But I get it now because I get it in the Juice Plus blends. And it's dried at low temperatures. Why is that important? Because enzymes, live enzymes, are what helps us to live. In fact, that's what separates us from inanimate objects. The lights, the desk, the computer, they don't have enzymes. Plants, animals, humans have enzymes. But when we cook our food to death, we lose a lot of the enzymes, a lot, and especially canned foods. I mean, there's no life in those at all. That's why they look like that when they come out of the can, right? So plant powders are put into capsules or delicious chewables. And now they also have omega. Now, omega, the body, the brain needs omegas, okay? The full spectrum, not just a separated one here and one there. Well, the Juice Plus company has got that right too, because now omegas 3, 5, 6, 7, and 9 are in the omega blend. So here wants for you to completely replenish the blood in your body. Okay, so that's one of the reasons that they give us a 4-month supply and let us pay 1 month at a time, which is really cool. Just look at the array of colors that you get. Beets, peach, pineapples, cranberry, prunes, broccoli, the rice bran is gluten-free, artichoke, blackberry, bilberry. I don't know about, you got a full in this blend. They didn't just say, oh, let's just take a bunch of fruits and vegetables and throw them in there. There's a whole story on that too, which we don't have time for. So the omega fatty acids support a broad array of health benefits, especially for the heart, the brain, the joints, the skin, and the eyes. It's 100% plant-based. Did you think that you had to eat fish to get omegas? Guess what? Fish don't have omegas by themselves. They get them from the algae, and we eat the algae. We skip the middle fish, went straight to the algae along with these other oils. So please get in touch with the person who invited you. Ask them to show you some of these awesome videos that really go into detail about these products. It's pure, sustainable, full spectrum, omega 3, 5, 6, 7, and 9. Cold pressed, and let me tell you, it's really important because anybody who knows about oils know that when you heat them, you not only lose some efficacy, but then you could create some health issues. That's why fried foods are no. Shouldn't say that. But that's why it's not good to eat lots of fried foods. Let's put it that way. And the capsules are vegan. There's also, so the fruits, vegetables, and the berries are micronutrients. Your micronutrients are what feed the body. They nourish and they cleanse, believe it or not. Okay? Now, your macronutrients are your protein, your carbohydrates, and your fats. Your omegas are a part of that macronutrient. Okay? The complete shake is vegan, made with non-GMO ingredients. It's gluten, dairy-free, protein, fiber, low glycemic, so you know it doesn't spike your blood sugar up. And let me tell you, it tastes so good. You would never believe that it has broccoli sprouts, radish sprouts, alfalfa. Everything that you see listed here is in the Juice Plus Complete. Now, why is it named Complete? Because it is a complete amino acid blend. Where does most of your protein come from? You create it. Your body creates your protein from the amino acids. Where do the cows get it from? They eat the grass, their body makes the protein, they get bigger, they get stronger. Now, I know you'll see soy here, and let me just explain briefly that the safety of soy depends on the source. There's a lot of information out there, and sadly, a lot of it's misinformation, but I can understand why people get confused. They get confused because soy, 90%, over 90% of the soy in this country has three things against it. Number one is genetically modified, and that's a biggie. It's highly processed, that's a biggie. And the biggest of all is that it is sprayed with PCBs, sprayed with all kinds of things, heavily sprayed. And those are endocrine disruptors. So they can disrupt the endocrine system, which is the system that creates the hormones in your body. And therein lies a confusion. And there's more to it, you know, with SERMs, but I don't think I should take very much more time to explain that. There are videos. Ask the person who invited you to let you know more about the Complete and about soy. You'll be surprised. The best part of all is that this has research. You've heard my story. You've heard Patty's story. You may hear your friend's story, whoever invited you. We can say our story, but anybody can make a story, or it could be true. But how do we know that's proof? How did I know that it was working in my body when I ate Juice Plus and 4 months later I didn't feel anything? And the lady who introduced me to Juice Plus, she was so sweet. She said, well, have you noticed a difference? This was after about 5 years. And I said, well, no, I already eat really well and blah, blah, blah. And she said, in her wisdom, she just said, just think about it. You'll find something. And sure enough, I realized after some time, I think it was almost a year, it was like, whoa, I regained my energy. I regained my range of motion. So I think that's important to share because we don't know what's going on internally. You can't feel cancer when it starts. You can't feel prevention, but you can know the research. And that gave me confidence. There are 41 studies. If you're a nutritional product and you have 1 or 2 studies, you're unique. Juice Plus has 41. However, Dr. Du Bois, sweet doctor out of Atlanta, one of the nation's top infectious disease doctor, he says this, and I want you to please pay attention to this. There is nothing else available any place in the world, with or without a prescription, that has been clinically proven to do what Juice Plus has been proven to do. Can we drop the mic? Because that's the bottom line. We can talk all we want, but the proof is the proof. So there's gold standard research that's randomized, double-blind, placebo-controlled, put these glasses back on, tested on the product itself, human clinical trials, peer-reviewed journals. That's what they're published in, and it's very ethical. So I'm asking you to take a look at yourself. Take a look at what you're doing. Are you exercising? Are you giving yourself some time? Are you drinking enough water? What about your nutrition? That's one change you could make. Get plenty of sleep, like that sweet baby over there. Thank you so much. Now, just one last thing and we'll be done. And that is, we could use some more foot soldiers out there to get the message out. Not enough people know about this. And not enough people have the opportunity that we have to actually get paid for helping people. So I just want to share with you one little video. I'm taking license here, but I just want you to see that there is a healthy revolution. And I'm just going to share with you this one video. It's less than 3 minutes and we'll be done. Thank you so much. Thank you for being with us tonight. Please do speak with the person who invited you. Take care, everyone. Please.
Thank you.
Bye.